sex has always been a trap for men. Some weakness that men have when it comes to women. Women understand that sex has a lot of power. They understand that with sex they can influence and they can do and undo, because men, for obvious reasons, would die for sex, right? I mean, men would basically, men have said they would die to have sex with a woman or with a girl. And a woman doesn't have any power without sex, just like a man probably has no power without money. I think those are two things that almost give the different sexes their power. A woman uses sex to control a man. A man uses money to control a woman. Those are tools that men and women have used for periods of time, and even today. Again.
So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome again to this edition of the Idle Park Talk Show. Today, we have another interesting topic. We're talking about sex, and to be specific, the weaponization of sex by women in long-term relationships or marriages. It is my observation that this is a fairly common topic. I mean, if you go to men's groups and you hear friends talk about this, so we thought it wise to bring it to you guys. And of course, who other to have this conversation with than our loyal co-host of the Idle Park Talk Show, Asong, and of course, host of Patrick Power Talks. Patrick here. Welcome, gentlemen. Let's
Thank you very much.
So just to frame the conversation in a few questions, and then we can go. Not that we're going to go from one question to another. Well, I want us to start from how does first of all, what is weaponization of sex, and then how it expresses itself in a relationship, and then how to recognize that, and what men can do to find themselves in this situation. I'm going to start. Do you guys feel like this is a common thing when you talk with your guy friends and maybe some ladies? I have found it very important. You know, for me, I'll start. For me, it's not my guy friends. It doesn't always come out so obvious. It's just in a conversation, and then you let and then you hear guys just slip it there, as if it's something normal, you know. Or you even hear women sometimes who slip it in a conversation as if it's something normal. Like I have heard women say, he asked me to help. I asked him to do something, and then what was his response? It's like, so I'm going to get some action tonight, right? So that's so mild sleep conversation. You can hear men are struggling with it. They're not coming out clearly. But when you hear all those little slips where women are putting condition on sex for the husband to do something, then you know that's an issue. I don't know if you guys have experienced that too. Maybe Asong go first.
I personally think that sex has always been a trap for men. Some weakness that men have when it comes to women. Women understand that sex has a lot of power. They understand that with sex they can influence and they can do and undo, because men, for obvious reasons, would die for sex, right? I mean, men would basically, men have said they would die to have sex with a woman or with a girl. And if you go way back in the Bible, just to see the manipulation, just to kind of, get how men have been manipulated through sex. They could either be, men and women in relationships. It could be a man falling for a woman who is not even, in a relationship with him, right? With him, right? If you go back to the Bible, you look at David's story, falling in love, or, wanting to take, or even taking the wife of a soldier, right? Bathsheba. That's an obvious story. If you go back to Samson and Delilah, Samson gave up his secret just because of the power that this woman wielded over him. And again, a woman doesn't have any power without sex, just like a man probably has no power without money. I think those are two things that almost give the different sexes their power. A woman uses sex to control a man. A man uses money to control a woman. Those are tools that men and women have used for periods of time, and even today. Again, just like you said, I've had conversations with friends who have, somehow said they haven't had sex with their wives for 2-3 months. And then the question I ask is it a medical condition? They say no, but they don't give you any details. And then now you see, the reason why he's saying he hasn't had sex for 3 months is not because he doesn't want to have sex. It's because he's being denied, the possibility of having sex. So yeah, again, it's something that women have, and they know that they have it, and they use it how they please. Patrick.
The bottom line of this issue, Rodrigo, you said it already. This issue of weaponization is just putting a condition on your sex organ.
Yeah.
That before you have to sleep with me, these are the conditions you have to fulfill. And then they find a way to make it feel like they're not giving you a condition, but there's actually a condition. So women now understand the power of sex to men, and they use it now to make men do things that they were normally not supposed to do because they are doing it to get the sex. Women are good manipulators. Women are naturally born manipulators.
The queens of psychological manipulation.
They are perfect. They know how to use it, and they do it as if they are not doing it. Right? They even know that they will sleep with you before you even sleep with them. They know. They make you even come for the sex. They make you come for the sex. You think you are the one asking for it, but they made you ask for it. So you think like, oh, I played her. She played you.
No, she played you.
So they are good in this. So this issue is she played you, but you just fall into her game. So what I was remember one time, I think many years ago, this girl was always telling me that, oh, let's have a baby, let's have a baby, let's have a baby. So I'm telling her like, I don't want to have a baby with you right now. I'm still struggling and all of that. So baby, it's not a choice. You know what she told me? She told me like, I know you are looking at now, but in some few years to come, you'll be able to take care of your child. So for now, let's have a baby. We can struggle the best we can struggle. The baby will not lack food. I'm in a better space than you now, so I can take care of the child financially. But when you'll be fine in few years to come, even if it's 5 years, you take care of the child. What did I realize? I'm like, so I'm looking at this girl for something to enjoy today. She's looking at my future already.
Yeah.
Women are smart. They think they think long term when it comes to issues that men. And because of that, they use now their sex to manipulate you to submission, to manipulate you to do things they want you to do, or to use it as a form of punishment. So that's where the condition comes in. The condition, you're using their sex organ to do things or not to do things. Now you, the man, you are at the receiving end. How you react to that, it's now based on how you were groomed or you're taught. So yes, we men, we talk about it. We know it happens. We laugh about it, but it destroys a lot of homes. When the woman starts using sex to control the husband, using sex to make the husband do certain things, or using sex to punish the husband for not doing certain things, your sex is not like it's a war, it's a weapon. And you're not using that weapon to build your home. You're using that weapon to destroy your home, because you're stabbing this man. You're making him feel emotionally imbalanced. I don't know which word I can use, but you are using it to control him. And women will not control for good. They control you to keep you under their spell. They control you not to move. It's just a way to keep you, like we say, put you in a bottle.
Do you think this is rampant in our community? Because I know when I speak with my friends who are not from our background, who are not African, I hear them say very often, "You're sleeping in a doghouse. You're sleeping in a doghouse." Is it kind of the same? Is it the same concept? Because again, if you're sleeping in the doghouse, you're not sleeping with your wife, so you're definitely not having sex.
Yeah.
Is this something that's common to us now?
I think it's really common amongst women. There's a concept called bait and switch, where women put on their best performance before you guys get in the relationship. When you guys get in the relationship, men to an extent too do this too. When you guys get into the relationship, they switch off. Suddenly they are no longer attracted to you. Then comes kids, then comes a lot of housework, then there's pressure of family and every other thing that's happening in our lives. And then they are not as available as they ought to be. Now, that is different from weaponizing sex. Now, a woman can take this further to put a man on the roster, or what still tell a man that these are the conditions, maybe not obviously, but put in the conditions. Okay, watch pan today so that we'll go back quick. Or you dey touch me, you will take that dirty go out. They start making those kind of statements, like they have conditioned you to behave a particular way because they know that you have what they need. And a lot of people might be asking, why is this important? Because it is important because marriage is important. It depends on how you hold marriage. If you're supposed to be married to somebody, that's the only person that you're supposed to be attracted to, that is the only person that you're supposed to have sexual access to, which is what a lot of men are looking before getting married. And then this person turns around, starts to use sex as a weapon, puts condition on you or having sex, and then probably severely reduces the amount of the expectation you had getting to marriage. With all the promise, they say before the marriage, they were all hanging by the monkey branches and giving all the styles. And then after, when you guys get to the marriage, they put you on the roast and put all these expectations. So it's really a struggle for a lot of men. And a lot of people don't say this openly and they don't come out and discuss this. But you just need to sit with a group of guys and have a conversation. You start hearing, like I mentioned earlier, this conversation sipping in. Men don't want to go home because, like, why they go house? Not happy, They become angry and other stuff. So it's really it's a serious problem that I don't think is addressed as much as it's supposed to be.
I don't think it's not addressed as much as it's supposed to be because men don't talk about it as much as they're supposed to. I think it's an issue that is big, but men feel a little embarrassed sharing their experiences with their wives when it comes to sex. Only in very few instances where men are able to say when they are in an environment where they are very comfortable with the people who are around them.
Yeah.
I know me and you gonna have a group of friends who play soccer, and we are comfortable with each other. That
even with them, it doesn't come out directly. Even with them, it won't come out directly.
It comes up compared to if they were in other environments where they were not comfortable. So a lot of men have these issues, right? But again, it's not talked about as much as it should be. Just because, again, it's embarrassing for you to tell people that
you're not getting action.
Sex is based on certain conditions and things like that, right?
Yeah.
This thing is the same with the abuse, the abuses some men face at home. They don't talk about it.
No,
yeah.
It's just for the same reason. Like men are so afraid of this stigma. Like you can go talk to somebody who does not understand that, and the person uses it as a form of mockery. They'll mock you with it, so you feel like, what's the use talking about it? Men process this thing. They deal with it. They internalize it. They deal with it on their own. If they're not comfortable with you, they will not bring it out. But when you meet them in that comfort zone with the people they are, as you say, the people they are good with, and they're having drinks, they're having fun, and they are all married, these issues pop up. And when they pop up now, it depends on how you handle it at that particular moment. You listen to them talking. But there's one thing we all know is that women are smart. They know what they are doing.
Yeah.
Before, as you talk about bait and switch, they bait you get in, then they switch off.
Yeah.
And now you realize, then now they start giving you complaint. Oh, I'm so tired. I'm so busy. I'm so this. I'm so that. I'm so that. They start using, why did we go trade the tea yesterday?
Yeah, I know.
You want to touch the woman. You say, oh, now you're touching me now when in the morning I told you to do this, you didn't do it.
You didn't do it.
Now she's already she's programming you. If you're not able to trash that issue right there, she's throwing the corn. We're saying we're local parlance, throwing corn.
Yeah.
She's just
and she's testing your boundary. Yeah.
She's testing the ground, testing your boundary, testing the waters to be sure if this thing is something I can push further. If you can squash it that moment, you realize like she'll feel like, okay, this is not something I should try. But now when you start trying to beg because you want to hit it at that moment, you start trying to beg and start making her to feel like you so depend on me. That's where your problem starts coming from.
Yeah.
Right? Because I guarantee you, like, the fact that if she knows, even if it's your wife, and she knows that she cannot use that thing, when she brings up that topic the first, they're trying to play with you and test her waters. And you make it, in fact, you say it straight to her, like, this thing will be handled differently if you continue this part, because I know where you're going. I can see where you're going to, and I will handle it differently. So if you think you can use this to destroy this home, I will help you destroy the home. Then let's see who carry the shame.
I think the question is how do you say that in a way that doesn't emotionally disconnect you from this person, right? If I don't want you, if I if I am in a position where I am trying to let you know that you're not going to use sex to manipulate or control, or you're not going to weaponize sex, how do I tell you this? How do I address this without a certain level of disconnect?
Yeah.
Emotional
Well, for me,
disconnect, right?
at that moment, you are done already, right? At that moment, you're already angry.
Yeah.
Because when you realize that's what they're trying to do, you're angry. What do you need to do just to address it? Just put it out there. Because no matter how you do it, there's gonna be this hard feeling from her side, because they don't like, most of our women, they don't like when you bring it to them straight on, like face on. But if you can figure out a way to make it go soft and make her understand that this is the wrong part to do, it's also good. You can just find a way to let her know, like, this thing you're trying to do, it's not going to work, and it's not going to help us and this marriage. So if this is the way you are thinking to make this marriage work by using this apparatus to punish me, then know that it's going to create more problems.
Yeah. This is one thing I said earlier. This is a tricky topic, because this is not usually cut. It's not usually like obvious, cut and dry. Like, oh, she's using it, but we've already established that women are master manipulators. Like, can we speak to how is this dynamic? How does the dynamic shift? Because I want to believe that there's a difference between the weaponization of sex and really your wife or your girlfriend has gotten busy and she doesn't have time. Maybe she has a baby and she's tired. There's legit reasons for that, right? So how will you guys, or through the lens of yourself or your friends, how will you recognize that this is really weaponization? This is not just because of situational circumstances where it's because she's tired, she's overworked, she's done other things.
First of all, I think when situational circumstances get exaggerated, right? You can't be tired every time. You cannot be tired. I don't know.
That's not situational anymore.
What are you doing? You cannot be tired every time. Even there are times where people get tired, but sex is part of that relationship. There is a need for both of you to satisfy that relationship, right? It needs to happen, even if both of you are tired. You have, sometimes it happens even in that tiredness. And it's not like it's bad sex. It could be perfect sex, but it happens in that time. Once you start exaggerating the circumstances, oh, I'm tired, oh, I'm busy, oh, I need to sleep and wake up early. You cannot sleep and wake up early every day for 2 months. What are you waking up to do? Or you cannot be tired every day for 2 months. I mean, what job are you working in the mines, or are you digging a tunnel somewhere? You cannot be tired
even in the mines. The men still come back and do something, right?
Yeah.
See, this is what I'm saying. If before it was active, the bedroom was active, the bed was active, your sex life was active, and then suddenly she's still doing the same activities and she's becoming more tired, my brother, there's something wrong. If she's suddenly becoming more tired, doing the same activities she was doing before, and you guys were having your actions before with the same activities, then suddenly she is still doing the same activities, but she's suddenly too tired. At one point, you might say, okay, you might just let it ride. Like, okay, good. But now, how much time do you need to rest? 2 months, 3 months? How can you be in a relationship within 3 months? You haven't had action with your husband. Claiming you're tired.
How long is sex too?
Now, that's making you too tired. The issue, men love this sex because during that period, there's this hormone abuse in men that makes them sleep better. Women, they say, oh, if I'm stressed or if I'm tired, I don't enjoy it. But look, this issue at one point is not all about you. The moments where it's about him, and the moments where it's about you.
Exactly.
It's not every day that your husband climbs on you that you let me use the word, you come. It's not every time. No matter how good he is, there are moments where you will not. So it's a fair balance that you guys try to strike every day. There are moments where it's just her coming and enjoying herself more than you do. But the difference is, how long do you need to rest before the action comes in? 3 months, 3 months already signals a problem. 3 months signals a problem. And to us, our African parents will say that 3 months, it means check what is happening outside. She's having it outside.
That's a
Because if
quarter
she
of
was
the
giving
year
it
that's gone.
regularly, then suddenly she's tired. She's giving it outside. Yeah, so she's giving it outside. Where is she getting it from? When she used to like it.
Yeah.
What changed? That she's not telling you that, okay, this is the problem. So what changed? So either she's getting outside. But you do know that, okay, there are certain jobs that they do and they are tired. You know, okay, my wife, you know your wife is tired. You look at her yourself, you know this girl is tired. You see it, you know. But you will know that this one now she's exaggerating it after a certain period of time. You cannot be tired every week, every month.
Yeah.
I mean, we have 7 days in a week. You're tired 7 days in a week. Then we have 4 those weeks in a month. You're tired for 4 weeks in a month. Now we have 8. That's 2 good months. Something is wrong somewhere. Now you are not weaponizing sex at this moment, because weaponizing sex, you are using it to have your man do certain things for you. This time around, you are outrightly denying him sex. You just deny the sex, using tiredness as your pretext.
Yeah. And you also notice that men, because they need to have sex and be intimate with their wives, men sometimes modify their behavior just to know that they have sexual access later on. A man would take care of the kids during the day, a man will wash the dishes, so that you don't have that excuse. But even after doing all those things, and then the man realizes that you're not still giving in, then that I feel like that's where it begins to come an issue. Because if your complaint earlier was, oh, you're too tired, you were busy with the kids, you had a lot of housework, then the man takes off some of the load, and then you still complain, then I think we're getting into weaponization territory there, and then it becomes really tricky to navigate. Okay, I want to shift the conversation now. Let me play devil's advocate. Is there any situation where it is a valid reason, where it becomes a valid reason for women to weaponize sex?
No.
No? So if you're a man, if you're cheating, you should still have sexual access to your wife?
Now, when you are cheating, she should just refuse. She should say, "Okay, I'm not giving you sex because you are cheating." Now you know why the sex is not coming.
But that's weaponizing. Is that punishment? Are you trying to differentiate between a punishment and weaponization?
No, at least, my brother, when you are caught cheating, at that moment you are negotiating. You're on the negotiating table. You are begging, right? So she is not actually weaponizing that sex. That's what I think. It's just that when a woman catches your husband cheating, you know that at that moment she's out of her mind. There are things that she needs to take time and come back before these things will happen. If within this period where they caught you actually cheating, you're supposed to be negotiating and doing all the works at home, cleaning their house, cooking, even making her to bring her back into the game. If you now instead go to be asking sex, that's inconsiderate. You means you don't care. You know, you don't really care about her feelings. When there are certain things that you do as a man, you know you are wrong, and it turns off your wife. But we know women are emotional. Women, this thing, they differ the way they feel. That's why when a woman feels happy, sex is good. When she feels sad, sex is not good. She needs to feel connected. She needs to feel happy. That's why they say that you as a man, you were born to go. You were born to go. Women need to hear sweet talk. Women need to see you touch them here and touch them there. You need to prepare her mind and bring her into the game. While you're already in the game, in fact, it's almost time out for you. So if your wife catches you cheating, at that moment, she's not weaponizing sex. That's what I think. You just need to navigate with her, bring her back, because she's lost confidence, she's lost trust, which is a very big thing. So you just need to negotiate. But the moment this is not, they haven't caught you cheating, you haven't done anything wrong. You are putting in the best as a husband to make your home, taking care of the kids, paying the bills, and doing all what you have to do. But back in the room, there's always this silent treatment on the bed. Something is wrong. And if she's giving that conditions like, okay, I want you to send money to my mother, I didn't send money to my mother. Oh, that's when now she's weaponizing. Oh, I told you to do this to me, you didn't do this to me. That's when my sister's husband did this. He didn't do it to me. Now you want to touch me. That's when she is weaponizing. That's how I think.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not. I mean, I have a different opinion. I think withholding sex as a punishment could be reasonable. If a man behaves poorly, breaches the wife's trust, or things like that, I would agree that a woman gets disconnected from you emotionally and might need time to build back, right? And helping her build back means you as a man need to make amends. You need to appease your wife. If you're doing that, well, I would say, well, you are simply being punished for something that you did, and things like that. Things, if it's obvious that I'm not getting this for this and these reasons, for my behavior, there's no reason why a woman shouldn't. Because again, like you said, there has to be an emotional connection between the man and the husband and the wife. If the wife is really angry for something that you did, I mean, how do you want her to how do you want her to get to a place where she is ready to have sex with you?
Yeah.
Right? Certain things need to happen. You need to appease. However, I think the question I'd ask is, how long can you punish a man, or with how long can you withhold sex from a man because of something that he did? If you ask a man, he might say not too long. But if you're talking to the woman, how much time do you think a woman needs to begin to trust you again, or to begin to feel emotionally connected to you in that way?
But that also brings up the question, and because we're focusing on women today, we're going to talk about men. Does a woman have the responsibility to be sexually available to her man, whether she likes it or not, in a committed relationship, and let's be more specific, in a marriage? So do you have to be open to your man no matter what your feelings are at the moment? Does a man have a right to you no matter what the feeling? Because in my mind, I'm thinking of marriage, that many times you have to sacrifice things that you don't want to do, but because you're in a committed relationship, you have to do it to please the other person. And one of the assumptions in any marriage is that you are sexually open to the other partner, whether you like it or not. So it's really a tricky balance for me. Do you have to punish somebody when you're in a marriage? I don't know. Do you always have to be sexually available whether you like it or not? I really don't know. It's a tricky situation to navigate.
I think everything being equal in an ideal world, ideal in the sense of the word, yes, the man and the woman have to be readily available for sex. Because again, part of marriage, I think for me, the primary reason for getting married outside is for sex. Children come because you have sex.
Yeah.
Without sex, nothing else happens.
Byproduct of sex.
Nothing else happens in a relationship. So for me, the primary objective of a man and a woman coming together is so that they have easy access to sex. I've always said that. When a man and a woman are deciding to get married, if you talk to people who have been in marriages, or you talk to your parents, they will tell you that sex is part of it. Sex has to be
so
when needed.
With that assumption, that there really is no grounds for any denying of sex when your partner wants it, then
when you are sick, when we go to do these issues in the court, when you go to sign your wedding and you have this mayor trying to officiate your marriage and bringing all these stories to make you guys understand where you're going into, they always tell you that sex, one of the reasons when you're sick, or when you're not available, or when you're on your period, right? As a woman. But now when you're not sick, you are available and you're not on your period.
And you're denying sex.
My brother, body no be firewood. Why are you denying sex?
Yeah.
That's what I'm telling you. Like, but now if you we are now modern people. We are trying to think about the lady's own side, and maybe she's not in the good mood because of 1, 2, 3. Now you as the man, you understand. Like, okay, she came back from work. She's a little bit too tired today to have a good one, right? She will give it to you, but you know that she is not really into the game now. So what do you do? That's why when people say, okay, we can just sleep, then we get up in the morning, I'll have the petit déjeuner. We just have it sharp in the morning when we are all fresh to begin the day. But now when you sleep you come back home, you go to bed, maybe you have about 6 hours of good sleep. You get up at that 5 o'clock in the morning before preparing to 4:30 because you have to rush and get to work, and maybe at 6 o'clock, depending on how far you drive from work to work. You can have that 30 minutes of that moment, which you're all fresh. You go leave your home happy. Why now at that moment you don't want to give it? Now it means there's something really wrong. And if you cannot tell the husband what is wrong, it means you are refusing him sex. Now, if you are telling him, I will not have sex with you because of this, that, you are weaponizing that sex. So now you are creating more problems in your matrimonial home.
Let's shift the other side, because we often talk of weaponization in a negative sense. There's also weaponization in a positive sense, where the woman gives you sex because she wants something from you. Is that something that you guys have experienced? A woman is coming, bringing you to the bedroom, then she lands you a bill, or maybe she wants to buy something for herself, or she wants to go on a trip or whatever. There's also that weaponization.
It's part of it. That particular bill always come after you're finished and you're smiling and they're drawing those things on your chest.
I know.
Just look for the bill. Just look for the bill. So women know how to use it. We men, we enjoy it, but we have not mastered the gimmicks. We have not mastered we have not mastered how women use it. She wants something from you. She wants money. And the best way for her to make you get that money is to just make you take you to a bedroom and give you one good one or two good ones in the best way possible. Then later on, she's like, "Oh, baby, I was supposed to use. You told me yesterday you give me money for this. You don't catch you. If you have the money at that moment, you realize like, anyway, let me just give it to her, right?
Yeah.
Good. So it's at the end of the day, it's all for the woman.
It's all for the woman. It's all for their needs. So they can weaponize it by giving it too much or by not giving it. Yeah. So it goes both ways.
For you to give them something that they need urgently, they use it to take it, and they can still use it by put you in check. That if you don't do this, at the end of the day, it's for her to gain something from you.
So, So it's a win-win situation. What do you have to say to that?
For her.
I think if they are using it for the benefit of the family at large, for the larger family, so using it to either encourage a certain behavior that they feel is good for the home. So you maybe go out and you work hard and you come back and your wife say, "Yeah, you've been really hardworking. I think I'll give you a really special." It's good for both of you, right? But or used to you're either encouraging or you're using it to redirect this man to something. So for like you spoke about money. Like what I know is promises that are made during sex or within that period are usually promises that
do they count? They're
promises that a man wouldn't make under
his normal circumstances
if they were not caught up in that
hormonal influence,
in that entanglement, right? So I know that
he made the promise under duress.
That's under duress, because you're not on your thinking self. You're under a lot of hormonal influence.
When a man is wanting to have sex, that's the only thing they think about. Anything else is not they don't take the time to process. So if you're asking for something or you're needing him to make a promise, it's very likely that he will make it. I think the problem now is after the act, is he able to keep the promise, the promise that he made during the act, right? Women would take the risk of having you make a promise so that they can hold you to eat. After that, it works.
When they sing it in your ears every day.
Because you promised.
Every day you get tired.
At the end of the day, you did promise, irrespective of how that promise came. You promised to do something. They would make you do it.
Yeah. Let's just shift as we're trying to round up now. What should men who find themselves in this situation do when they realize that the woman is weaponizing sex? Maybe Patrick.
For me, if you realize a woman is doing that and she has been doing it for a long time, it means at the tail end, this woman did not even love you in the first place, right? Because women, when they love you, they are available.
Yeah.
When they love you, you have that access. So it means she does not love you. It means she's there for a personal interest, and then she's using you to get those things done that benefits her and not you.
Yeah.
So what you do for me, it's that if this woman is not your wife, I think that getting married to such a woman, you're just creating more problems for yourself. So if at the beginning you realize that, okay, this is not my wife yet, and I'm going through this, it means when I get married to her, I'll go through worse. So for me, you just let her go back to the streets, as I always call it. Just send her back to the streets. Send her to the next man to do what he has to do with her. You don't need to suffer that suffer. Why?
So if the woman is your wife,
now if the woman is your wife, you bring it up to her and you let her know. My brother, look, there are moments where you have to be stern. You're a man. It's not every time you have to be soft. There are moments where you have to be stern. You have to put your hand. Let me tell you something. No matter how your woman tries to use sex to manipulate, she will never want to get another woman. And if she starts feeling like this thing is taking this man out of this house, when you stay home 2-3, I had my friend, what my friend-in-law told him. The in-law, this guy was having all these issues at home with the wife. You know what the in-law told the guy? When he called the father-in-law to complain, he told the father that he's been going through this for 6 months and blah, blah, blah. The wife, the father told him that it's because you've made her think you have no options.
Yeah.
And then she knows deep down in her mind that you are in her box.
Yeah.
So I know my daughter. Show her you have options and let's see how she reacts. So go home. Don't go home for 2 days. Go and stay with your friend. I don't mean having options like going to sleep in the woman's house.
Yeah.
Just go to your friend's place, spend some 2-3 days there. She called you, don't pick your phone. Just be there. Stay with your friends, but make sure that while you are with your friends, you can actually prove that you're with your friends. So he said that just go be with your friends. Then let's see how she reacts after that. So this guy went out with their friends, and this woman called and called. He didn't pick. Called and called and called and called. He didn't pick. 2 days later, he went back home with his food. He bought his food, went back home. The lady said, "Oh, I have cooked." He said, "Don't bother. I'm not hungry. I'll eat my food." Ate his food, went into the room, climbed on the bed. This girl came and said, "What is wrong?" And he told the lady, "You know, you've been doing this thing for so long, and I'm tired of begging." All right. If you think you're tired of being my wife, that's no problem. Let's just figure out a way to let it go. But I won't stay in a home where you use this thing and make me stress, feel uncomfortable to come back to a home and paying all this money for months, taking care of the kids and everything. And this lady changed. So up to them. If they cannot do that, if they cannot listen to us, my brother, there are many other methods to make them. I will not be the one to tell us what to do.
Okay, Asong. Yeah, what should men do if they find themselves?
I think the first thing is not let it start in the first place.
Yeah.
And I'll go back to what Patrick said. If you're in a relationship, girlfriend relationship with a girl, and she starts to weaponize sex while you two are still in a relationship, best you know that once that relationship changes to marriage, she will continue. She would do even more.
Yeah.
Because as a girlfriend, there's nothing tying you together. You could as well have said, okay, since you're trying to use this as a weapon, I'll go away and do my thing. But if they start doing it there, allow it. Once you get
all behaviors get worse with marriage.
They get worse with marriage. I
don't think there's any behavior.
Amplifier.
Yeah, but there's no behavior that really improves with marriage. Like, oh, if she's behaving badly, then she'll behave better when she's married. Or if he's behaving badly, he's gonna behave better.
No, there's
there's nothing. They all get people change, but they change for the worse.
So
my co-host says marriage amplifies your good attitude and your bad attitude. So any bad thing you had before marriage, when you get into marriage, it beams its light on you. And everything is seen. You can't hide it no more.
Yeah.
So you if that's the case, just let that one go, find another one and start and go on with.
Simple.
If this is something that starts in the marriage, first of all, is you make it very clear. I'm not going to tolerate this. If this is how you want to address our issues, there's going to be serious problems here. You have to make it very clear from the onset that I am not going to take this. And again, there's one thing that women should know, that men too have weapons of their own.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, at some point, you would definitely want to have sex. No matter you're not a superhuman being. At some point, this woman wants to have sex, but she wants to have sex on her own terms, right? Yeah. Not knowing that this man too can be say, okay, well, since I want it and you don't offer it to me, I'm not giving it to you.
On your own terms too. If
on my, of course, it has to be on my own terms. So, from the get-go, if you notice that this is what's happening, put it very clear. I'm not going to take it. It's not happening. And two, again, you have to be able to control yourself, man. We are too desperate for sex. We are too desperate.
Do you find out with a lot of guys? A lot of guys sound like if they do not have sex, they are going to die. I'm like, I don't know if I'm really at that level. You know, a lot of men, and this is a serious thing. I talk with a lot of my friends. They almost make it sound as if their life is dependent on having sex with women. I'm like, this is ridiculous. It's absolutely, because if a woman just has a
The
knowledge of
slightest
that,
idea.
the slightest idea that is what you are, that your entire life as a human being is dependent on that, she has a lot of control over you.
The leverage, you just increase her leverage over
Increase her
you
leverage
1,000-fold.
It's just ridiculous. But have you noticed that with men? Like you're in conversation with men, they're like, "Man, if I don't have sex, how will I live if you need to my every day?" I'm like, really?
And that, again, that's the level of desperation that I'm talking about, right? If you've proven to your wife that this is something that you cannot do without, or this is something that if she denies you off, it would hurt you really bad. What do you think she's going to do when she's not happy? She will deny you of sex, just so that you get hurt, because you have demonstrated that you're so desperate for this thing that if you don't have it.
And we all know women, they have a weird way of taking your weakness and using it against you. The moment you express your weakness to women, I know there's all this movement of, be emotional, show your emotions.
No,
but the moment you say that to a woman, the moment you say, and you get that from a lot of dating coaches, the moment you say that to a woman, you expose your weakness, she is going to weaponize it one day and use it against you.
What are you talking about? You know, this Nigerian actress, I don't remember her name, who divorced with the partner, and there was all this. This woman sat down on the internet and listed the issue. Everything that this man had confided in her, all his weaknesses, all his struggles.
And then you wonder why men do not express their emotions.
You wonder why men are hesitant to tell these women everything about them.
Yeah. Longer remade this song. Quand la femme se fâche.
I remember that song.
Exactly. But the thing is, men know what women can do.
Oh, men know.
So some men are so desperate for this sex thing that they would do anything. And once you demonstrate to a woman that I will kill someone, I mean, go back to the Bible. John the Baptist's head came in a silver platter. What happened?
Just because the king was trying to prove to his daughter something. Yeah.
And the mother
once you put yourself in a position where you are the
mother whispered in the daughter
vulnerable, they will do anything. They will do. It's the woman who told the daughter, "Tell your dad this is what I want."
Exactly. And the daughter,
because they know that you're so subjugated, or I don't know which word to use, that they can tell you they can connect and tell you anything, and you do it.
Listen, I was watching this. I was in the book I read somewhere, and this man said something, or the writer, was it a movie or writer? I don't know. I can't pick it up. And the person was saying that when you have power over your sexual organ as a man,
that's the most
control you can have in your life.
Yeah, that's the power. That's the best of the best control. When a woman knows that she cannot use that thing
to
manipulate you, she will not try it.
Yeah.
When a woman knows you're not the kind of man where you'll be begging her for it, you can easily have it also because you have options.
Yeah.
Even when she has never seen you do it, but when she knows deep down,
she knows that you can exercise it. Yep.
This kind of man can exercise his options. This man can do certain things. She will never dare use that thing on you.
I think Derek, if Patrick, even just demonstrating that you can be which word am I trying to use? Not really that you have options, but just that you can do without
you're competitive.
I can do. I'm not going to go anywhere for sex, but I can stay in this home and not need it for the next 5 months
and still be a happy man.
And still be happy.
A man
who's able to demonstrate.
This is the catch. This is the catch, my brother. Listen, there's one thing I realized. Like when you are single, you can go 6 months without sex.
Nothing.
But now, when you have a woman by your side, sleeping by your side, and playing all these games, coming to sleep almost half naked, and all of that, it becomes a little bit difficult. you get the point, right?
Yeah.
It becomes a little bit difficult. At one point, it's easy to give in because she would keep coming at you, dressing all these sexy ways, and all of that. If she starts this stuff at home, you tell her, okay, so this is what you want. I will sleep in the other room. While you sleep in that room, then till you are ready to make yourself up, then we talk.
Mm-hmm.
So she knows she cannot use all that seductive stuff in the room and try to sleep and push her leg on your body
But
and all those things. Then
Patrick,
when you come to face no.
I disagree. I disagree with sleeping in another room. I think the master's bedroom is the place where the man and the woman sleeps. I'm never in support of a man sleeping somewhere else or a woman sleeping somewhere else. I don't care how much trouble how much fighting you two are in, unless you were getting physical or unless there was a likelihood that someone could get physical. The man and the woman sleep on the bed that you sleep in every day. Once you start sleeping in a different room in an attempt either to prove a point or to prevent yourself from being vulnerable, then it clearly demonstrates that you don't have control over your sexual desires, your urges. I would sleep in the same bed, and I would ignore every sexual act or every seductive act that you play. Any advances that you make, sleep in the same bed and ignore it.
What about the men who can't do it like you? What I'm talking about, people who don't have the willpower.
Yeah,
but they can make decisions. But when it comes to their sexual willpower, look, some men are very good in making decisions. But you see this sexual decision, this one to control a sexual drive.
Yeah,
that's another thing.
Yeah.
People say this thing are two brain. You have your brain up here. That apparatus down there has his bang again brain.
I said, if you start sleeping in another room, if you start sleeping in another room, then I think that's exactly how your relation. That's exactly how that marriage continues. Each time there's an issue,
you get mad, you go to another room.
You would have to go, or she would have to. Somebody would have to leave the room. I think that for me, that's where the problem is. I'd rather you sleep there and beg for the next 10 years than proving a point, going to the next room and then realizing that every 2 weeks you're sleeping somewhere else, or every week you're.
My brother, then that marriage is a marriage that has to be true. That's not a marriage.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
These are things I say that we go into things that we cannot handle, but we stay there because we don't know how to live.
Yeah.
We don't know how to live. Look.
Well, but Patrick, it's a little bit.
Marriage.
It's a little bit complicated than that, because a lot of people. Marriage is a social institution. It's a spiritual institution. It's a legal institution too. So there are a lot of things to take into consideration. People have children. People have created relationships and stuff like that.
That's what I'm saying.
Marriage, as if it was.
It's as if it's just a relationship.
Listen to what I'm trying to pass out here, right? I know that there's a lot at stake.
Mm-hmm.
I know that there's a lot at stake. But if you're in that situation, then that home is not a happy home for you and for the children. It's toxic.
It is,
all the silent treatment. It's just a matter of time for it to be out. So it's already toxic for your own. The same kids you're. It's like back when your mother said, "I'm staying in this relationship because of you," and they are beating you every day.
Yeah.
You're almost dying every day. It's not because of me you're staying, because when you die, what happens to me?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
the way Daddy
I think that's one of the only times that will make the exception that people can separate. Yeah, that's one of the few times.
I talk about the issue of violence, but we have emotional violence.
We do.
Where as using sex to, but when you use sex to manipulate a man, at one point that man doesn't have, the man becomes angry. Let me give you a small issue. My friend told me once before I got married. I'll ask him like, bro, but every 24 hours, you are with these little girls every day out and out and out and out. What's happening with your wife at home? He laughed. He said, my peace at home comes from these women outside. Because when I go back home, listen to what he said. He said, my wife does certain things that if I don't go out there and cool my head off, I might one day explode in that house. Yeah. So when I go back home after I leave work and I go and do I play my do-zero with this my little girl outside. When I go back home, some of those things my wife is doing, I don't really put my mind on it. If you say she's not giving me sex, I'll just sleep. I'll not get angry. I'll just get up in the morning and leave. So my wife is surprised. I don't want to divorce her because we have 3 kids already. So I'm playing the card this way. But he told me, I swear to God that if I'm not doing this thing outside, this marriage will not last, because one day I'll become violent because my woman is abusing me physically, emotionally.
So it takes me to a question that I've been. I've been wanting to ask Patrick, at what point do you exercise your options? Again, it's not, again, we have talked about letting the woman know that you have options. But at what point do you seriously consider using the options that you have? Because there's this little scenario that you explained. This man has probably demonstrated that, oh, I have options. And now he's actively using the options that he has. So at what point is it okay?
Without the wife's consent. So the wife does not even know that that's what he's doing outside. When he comes back home, he just ignores everything the wife is doing, play with his kids, go home. If the wife gives him action, he takes. If there's no action, he does not care.
Yeah.
Right? But they're happy when you meet them around the street, they're happy until it comes to you and tell you, like, my brother, forget this thing, oh, this thing are flashing. Back at home, this woman is doing this, doing that, doing that. But because of the kids and I'm the man, I know I've already figured out my own way to keep this home happy by doing this thing I'm doing out. I don't want her to know. I'm not bringing it back in my home. I'm hiding it from her. I'm not putting it in her face. Yeah. So she's wondering, how come after all what she's doing, I'm always calm, I'm always relaxed, I just laugh at it and I pass. So what I'm trying to say, you ask the question, at what point should the man do what? Should the man shows he has options?
No, exercise them. Like everybody knows men have options. At what point do you start using those options?
Okay, now this question is lucky. Somebody told me, I think in law, I don't know if it's law. I did law and then I left it, I abandoned it halfway. But I think when in a marriage, if you two are together and 6 months of no action, it means there's no marriage no more.
Oh, really?
6 months of no action. I think that I'm sure about it. I don't know if I think maybe it's a Cameroonian law or something, but 6 months into a marriage with a wife, without sex, there is no marriage.
Yeah.
There's no marriage.
I think I know that a marriage is consummated when, like, there has to be sex. So if you get married to a woman and there's no sex,
and you're in the same location,
then again there's technically no marriage. There has to
you can annul, even in the church you can annul that.
Yeah, there has to be consummation. Yes,
you can annul that. So now, if you're in that home and you're hitting 3 months without any sex. Let me tell you something, my brother. Look, you see this issue. You see this issue of sexual frustration. It makes a man angry. It makes a man violent.
It does, yeah.
Violent, not only physically. Some men become violent just with their mouth. Some become more violent with your hands. Right? When a man is home with a wife, not girlfriend. Because I keep saying this thing. There are two different reactions. When you have your girlfriend and there is no sex, there's a way you handle it.
Yeah.
When you have your wife,
it's trickier.
That you've gone all this, both of you went through all these options. Then she's not using this thing. You become a different person. The way you react to that situation.
Yeah.
Right. You become a different person, and then now that's what happens to most marriages, because at one point this man is not having enough action that he wishes, and he knows that if he goes out, it's more problem. So this man becomes always angry. And my friend told me that a man that is married and look at a man that is married, staying at home with the wife, always angry. There's a problem with sex.
Yeah, I think that's one of the main problems.
With the sexual life. He's always angry. And look at the man that's always happy. He leaves his home in the morning. Like when we're doing back in teachers, my teacher came to class, my literature teacher, Mr. Sima Valentine, and he was just smiling. We're doing literature. Literature has a lot of moral stuff and all of that.
Yeah.
So he was teaching a subject. Was it the wife of Bath or something? Then he was talking. He was just laughing and laughing. Then he said, when I go back home at times and there's this style, when I enter the room and I see this particular style, my wife dresses the bed, I know that night I'll be a happy man. Then when you see me looking this happy in the morning, know that this morning was a good morning for me. That tells you something.
Yeah.
When this issue is good at home, you have it constantly. You're happy. When this thing becomes a frustration, it frustrates you and you become angry. So now, at what time do you exercise your option? My brother, if you're in that home for 3 months and there is no action, and you keep going, will one day hear that you've strangled somebody in your home.
But there are also things that men do that give women the opportunity to be able to weaponize sex. Like, you don't take care of yourself.
No, if that's your fault, then you just messed up.
Yeah. No, but I'm just saying, there are things, men who don't exercise, men who don't go to work, men who don't provide for their families. So there are things that a lot of men do that put their wives in these unfortunate circumstances too. So
for sure.
men are to take some of the blame, right? You stop
Sure.
I mean, if you
stop
remember,
working, you're
there's
not.
a point I made previously when I said if sex is being weaponized or withheld because of something that you did or something that you're not doing,
You
then
need to negotiate.
I agree
You
with
have to negotiate. Yeah, because a lot of
You need
times
to
too,
negotiate.
it's easy to blame the woman, but a lot of men are not holding their own end of the bargain.
yes.
Yeah, you just grow
You
fat.
know. I think
just grow,
in this case we're trying to talk about the woman weaponizing.
yeah,
the
we're
man
just
is doing
focusing on the woman now. But I'm just saying,
But
there are
if you, the
situations where
man, you
men
are
put
wrong.
themselves. Yeah, there are situations where men put themselves that doesn't even help the woman too. So that's another important aspect to consider. Oh yeah,
If you are wrong, then you have to make it up.
You have to make
it up. You have to figure out a way to make her feel comfortable.
Yeah.
You cannot break her trust. You cannot just start getting so fat. Let me give you an example. Your wife is working out. She's a gym enthusiast. She goes out to the gym. She's keeping fit, and then you're just on your KFC and on your lazy boy chair watching TV.
Yeah, eating three
At
bundle
what point, what do you expect?
An arrow.
After body fufu, you have big Pepsi. After Pepsi, you're on KFC and McDonald's.
And
because you turn
in
the
no
woman
time,
off. Your physical,
you've exploded.
Yeah.
You can turn the woman.
You turn her off. You start looking so dirty, so shabby.
Yeah.
You turn the woman off.
Yeah.
This time she is not weaponizing the sex. You are the reason why this thing is not going. Work on yourself, then you will have your sex. She's not weaponizing it. But when you are doing everything you are doing, and then she's working with you like, oh, you didn't do this to me, so you don't have sex, or you have to do this to have sex. Now she is weaponizing it. If you are holding your own part of the bargain perfectly well, and then she is not holding her own part of the bargain, that's where the issue stems from.
I think it's important to say that that's the context of our conversation too. Yeah. I think we're almost at the end, and I don't know if anybody has any last thoughts before we call it the day.
Awesome. What do you have to say?
If we missed anything.
Again, interesting topic. Again, there are many sides to this conversation. We have been talking as men, looking at what women do. There is another side of the conversation. Women could talk about what men do, either causing them to weaponize sex or how men are weaponizing sex in their own way as well, right? But again, like I said, there are many different perspectives we could have taken, but we chose to look at this relationship at sex, weaponizing sex, as men impacted by how women use sex to control or to manipulate or to,
because that's their power. And to be fair, that's fairly common than the other way around. And that's, like we said at the beginning of the show, that's the power that women hold in a relationship. Men have other power, but sexual power is definitely not the strength of a man. It's a woman's court. So
well, also spoke about men having power with the money,
and finances.
Financial power. Why women use their sex as their weapon to do things. No, at the end of the day, this is one thing I would like to say regarding this issue. If you find yourself in such a situation where you realize that you're doing everything, but you still have to beg for the sex.
Yeah.
If that woman is not your wife, and you are considering making her your wife, you should know that you'll keep on having the same attitude inside your matrimonial home.
Yeah.
There are things you can avoid as a man. That's why I say I'm afraid of weak men, because weak men will see such attitude
and still going.
They'll say, I love her. They will get married to her. Then they start complaining every day when this thing happened. It happened before the wedding, before the marriage. You decide to make it official by marrying this lady who has been giving this attitude before the time. And now, if this thing started inside your matrimonial home, then as a man, try to first understand where the changes come from. Looking at your own self. What did I do wrong, first of all? Then you just sit on your own corner. You look at yourself. What have I been doing? If you sit on your own little corner and you realize that this thing is not my fault, actually, but doing favors to get it. I'm paying before I have it. I have to do this one. Before I have it, I have to do this one. Then you are in for a very difficult marriage.
Yeah.
You are in for a marriage that is potentially going to lead to violence, lead to trauma, lead to depression, and lead to a lot of stuff. So it's you as a man at that moment that you would decide if you want to stay in such a union and go through that process that will destroy you mentally and even destroy your kids growing in that home, or you prefer to maybe seek refuge by talking to other people who can help you, you and your woman, by having counseling, talking to people you respect that can handle that situation. And if they cannot handle that situation and you think that it's still working, then that woman left you since that woman was just, the woman is no longer in the marriage. You are the one in the marriage. She's gone.
Yeah.
So decide what to do now. I will not be the one to tell you.
Thank you. Because if a woman is into you, she will be readily available to you at all times. I think that's a given.
She will be.
Yeah.
She will be. These issues will come out. They will have little problems, but little problems, you solve them by having your sex. And it's gone, and you laugh and you get up in the morning. Yeah. But if you cannot solve your little problems by going to your room and making it up and having this good sex for 3-4 months, then somebody is not in that wedding. Somebody is not in that marriage. Somebody already left the marriage. Yeah. So figure out who left the marriage.
Figure out who left the marriage. Okay, thank you, gentlemen. Great insight as always. You guys know where to catch us. We are the Idle Power Talk Show on Facebook and on YouTube. Patrick Power Talks is on Facebook. He's doing a lot of great things there, so please go and follow him. We will be coming up again with weekly content with Patrick, and we'll be on his channel as well to have other conversations. So please follow us and share our pages. Thank you, gentlemen, and we'll do it again next week.